Hi, I'm Mandy. On this channel, you'll find a little bit of everything about budgeting, from budget with me's to cash stuffings and savings challenges. Today, I'm going to discuss why I started budgeting. If this is something that interests you, come along and let's get started. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Just a heads up, this may get a little bit emotional, so just a trigger warning ahead of time. I started my budget in January of this year, 2022. So this is now September, so I've really only been doing it 9 months. What really got me into budgeting is in January we really struggled. What happened was we had spent so much on Christmas last year with pay forward services and buying things for Christmas for everyone, that when those bills came due in January, it took all our money. And it was the first paycheck of January, and I'm sitting there looking at my budget, and I did not have enough for gas. I did not have enough for food. I just felt like a failure because it's just my income. We had not stocked up our shelves, so that we really didn't have much food in the house. And I only had like $50 to my name for 2 weeks. It may have been a little bit more, but no more than $75. And I was worried because we needed food. So I did go through and looked at what we had to eat and was trying to make it last for 2 months, for the whole month, because come the second paycheck in January, we was going to be in the same shape. So I found the budget mom, and I started using her meal plan calendar. And I was stressed. I went through and tried to figure out what we could eat on for the whole month. We just simply didn't have enough. And I just broke down because I felt like a failure. I was worried more so about my children and my husband. My husband's a diabetic, so he has to keep on his eating schedule, but keep his sugar normal. And then my kids, I was worried about them. One of them was in school, so I knew at least they would get one meal during school. I was worried that even then we wouldn't have enough. And I knew we wouldn't, actually. We weren't going to have enough. And that's a scary thought, is that you don't have enough to feed your kids, to make sure your husband ate, who's a diabetic. I was even going to go, and if I had to, give them through all the food, and then maybe I just ate something small once a day, just to make sure that they're taken care of. And that's the mom part of me, is that when you're a mom, you put, and a wife, you put everybody else in front of you, making sure that they had their needs. And I would just cry because I didn't know where to turn. And so one night I sat down, just doing the meal planning. I was trying to figure out what I could do. Mom called, my mom. She said, "What you doing?" I said, "Oh, I kind of brushed it off because I didn't want them to worry about it." I said, "Well, I'm trying to figure out what we can eat for the week." She said, "Well, don't you have enough for groceries?" And then I had to come out and tell her, "No, I don't." She said, "Well, I can give you money and you pay me back when you get paid." I said, "Mom, even if you give me money now, I won't be able to pay you back next paycheck because we're going to be in the same shape we are right now." She said, "Give me a list. I'll buy the groceries, and then when either you get your income tax money back or in February you can pay me back." I said, "Mom, no, I don't want to put you guys in a hardship." "Oh, you're not." She kept telling me, "I'll take care of it. You just pay me back later." And that made me feel even worse because here I am, a 40-year-old woman, having to ask their mom to buy groceries for their family. And my heart just, it still breaks thinking about it. And I'm trying to find away the tears thinking about it. Because here I was trying to break away from borrowing money from family members, I didn't want to do that no more. I didn't want to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. I didn't want to borrow from family members, knowing darn well I probably couldn't pay them back. So she did. I sent her the grocery list, and then my husband went and picked it up from her house and brought it home. And that's when I started hitting YouTube. And I never was really big on YouTube before January. And I found the Budget Mom. I started watching her channels, and that's how I found the ZeroBased Budget. I said, okay, we'll try it. So that's what we did. We started in January, doing the ZeroBased Budget. It helps to see, and at the end of that month, I realized the reason why we didn't have no money for food. And it is because we had spent $700 on eating out. And if you've seen any of my budgets with me, you know that is more than 3/4 of my normal pay per week for 2 weeks. And so that was another eye opener for me. I was like, okay, well, if we cut that out and start doing the meal planning, I could take that money, pay off those pay forward services, and get out of this hole, this rut that we're in. Well, that's what we did. And I know a lot of people are against doing I don't want to say against, but some of people don't like to do the cash advance on your tax return where you pay a couple $100 to get so much of it up front. We was so far in the hole in January. I didn't think that if we didn't do that, we would be able to come out of it. So we went ahead and done that also. So as soon as that money hit, I went ahead and paid back my mom and paid off all those pay forwards and paid everything back that needed to be paid, and paid all the past due balances on our utility bills. Our electric bill was behind. Where was I? Had a phone call. So it was behind on utility bills, like electric, water, and all that. But when we got our cash advance, we paid everything forward and paid everything off that we could. And that's when I started. I started looking at our expenses to see what we could not cut. And we cut subscriptions down. I purchased me some envelopes, and I just hit all hands in, I guess you could say. Put all my deck cards in and said, all right, here we go. He was still not really on board yet. When I first did my first cash withdrawal from the bank, because where it was such a large amount, he freaked out on me. And I said, just because I'm pulling this out doesn't mean we're not going to have access to it. We're just putting it in categories to help us prepare for what may come, for what life happens. But he now sees the value in doing it. It took him a little while to come around, but he's not totally on board yet, but he sees it helping because, like when we have, we're building emergency funds, and I'm doing those small savings challenges, and those small savings challenges, I don't count when I do my expenses. I don't count that in my cash envelope, cash amounts, because those I'm trying to keep separate. Now, if I have to use them, I will add them into the cash, totals if I have to use them. I do that so, and back in my mind, I know I have money, but on paper, I don't, so I don't overspend. I don't want to get back into what we was in January. And we have come a long way in those 9 months. And I don't want to say that we figured it out, because we don't. We haven't. It's budgeting is a revolving cycle. You try something one way and then you realize, well, that's not working. Let's do it this way. You never truly got down 100% because there's times that you have to rearrange your system, your envelopes. You have to do some unstuffings. I wanted to share with you my why I started budgeting because I realize I haven't done that yet. I've done over, I don't know how many videos I'm at this point, but I never actually sat down and said why. And I wanted to be honest. I'm a very optimistic person, as you may can tell. I'm always upbeat about things, but I wanted to be real with you also. Try to be as transparent as I can on this channel. So here is to the future. Here is to a new month of September. And here is to new beginnings. If you're finding this and you're starting your budgeting journey, hey, we all been there. We all have our different whys we started. And this community is great. We all have our different whys, but yet we all have the same goal, and that is to live better in our future. To have a better tomorrow. If you enjoy budgeting videos, I do got plenty to choose from. They'll be popping up here in just a few moments. Remember, when we hit 200, I will be doing a giveaway. I will be doing special savings challenges just for that. So if you win it, you'll have Mandy's exclusive challenges. And if you're new here, please take a look around. If you like what you see, please consider to subscribe. And remember, every dime counts. Be blessed, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one, folks. Bye.